Hey guys, happy Monday. And so this is a requested video from my friend Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Today we're going to be using magazine images 3 different ways. You got that right. And that click magazine that you just saw is one of my faves when it comes to picking out images to put into my journal. So Lisa said, hey Tiff, would you do a video on how to integrate and make a cohesive page with a magazine image? So you know what I said? Sure enough, I got you, boo. Let me go ahead and just do 3 different techniques to show you guys how to incorporate. So I chose this girl here with the pink hair and the pink shirt because number 1, pink is great. Number 2, what I was pointing out was the values and the hues of that pink really go well with this background that I already had created. So since I am doing 3 different ways to incorporate the magazine image, I am using backgrounds that already have a little something going on to make it easier to go with this video. So what I'm doing is going to crinkle it up, okay? You've probably seen me do that in a few different videos, but I am going to crinkle it up. I'm going to take some baby wipes, and I'm actually going to use this to create it a little bit more grunge to the image and to make it not so stark and perfect like I just cut it out of the magazine. So we're going to discuss a few different ways that I like to kind of modify or change the image a little way. And this is just one of the ways to kind of grunge it up, make it like it had some life experiences and is not so crispy and ready to go. Now, when I was doing this, I thought, what's a good way to explain how to integrate? So I like going through and thinking of ways you can create layers on top. And so like go over it or go under it. And you're going to see a little bit as I go through each example here. And I'm just going in with a Oohoo glue stick. That's my preferred method of gluing it down. And hey guys, if this is your first time joining my channel and coming by, thank you so much for being here. What's up, what's up? You have just entered Southern Gals Crazy Wild Studio right here with me. So welcome, welcome. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, why don't you just go ahead and hook your girl up and do a little something, just click that button right there for me. All right, thank you so much. So now I'm going to take duct tape, and it is going over. Okay, go under, go over, and then pay attention to the colors that you have. And masking tape is easy to use because it has really no color, and I can decorate it and use it any way I want to. Now, if you are a washi freak, yeah, I know some of y'all got all that washi tape going on. This would be a beautiful way to be able to do that, is with washi tape as well. And guys, I am using a Neo Color 2 right now, and I'm showing you the pinks that I'm pulling from the edges and from the back. And then because y'all know how I love a good scribble sesh, I'm using scribbles to overlap that magazine image just a touch. So what is that doing? That's pushing it back just ever so slightly into the background. Okay, so we don't want it to go all the way back, but we do want it to feel like it is part of this page and not as if though it's a completely separate unit. So anytime you can take any of your supplies and go on top of the magazine image, then that is going to do that. It's going to push it back just a little bit. Okay, and now I'm also taking that Neo Color 2, and I'm using Neo Color 2 because, well, it was close, and it was handy, and it was dandy, and that's what I had on hand. But you could also use like a Stabilo All would be perfect for that. Here, I'm actually going to grab a Stabilo All. I forgot that I had done that. And originally, I first thought about drawing her body out a little bit more, but then I was like, Tiff, not today. I'm not feeling it. So, I'm going to incorporate, I am going to tinker with the idea of doing her arm and so forth a little bit, but I decided, I opted out. I opted out of that. So, I abandoned ship and going to add a little bit of gesso to bring a little bit of the whites back, because her coloring and her colorway around her is light. So I wanted to bring some lights over to the other side of the page so she didn't look so out of place. And I think this is a really good idea when you are incorporating, is just look around your page and see what colors that you have around. Maybe you can incorporate a color that is in your image into the rest of your background, so it feels like it's more cohesive and kind of goes together. Also, another way I'm going to show you here is to take a palette knife in a tiny bit of gesso or white paint, okay? And I'm just going to scrape it over. Okay, less is more in this. Okay, you can always add more, but it's real hard to go back and take some of that away. But you can see that I'm scraping it right over the edge of that magazine image, because for this image I didn't fussy cut. I just took and slapped that baby down with a glue stick, right? So now I'm going to show you up close. I love how the masking tapes add that added dimension and texture to it, and that is one way to incorporate a magazine image into your journal. Okay, so we did the scrunch it up, we did the masking tape, and we did the gesso all in that one page. So now I'm grabbing my next journal and I'm going to go ahead and use. All right, now let's go in with journal number 2 with image number 2. I love this beautiful mustardy yellow hue. I thought it was perfect for this page. The journal I'm using here is my soul book journal. My soul food journal, excuse me, and the other journal was my scrappy soul book. So I have both of those classes available. You can check the links below. But what I'm going to do is I just trimmed off all the little extra white edges that were around the image, and I'm going to be bold and just go directly in with this glue stick and slap that baby down on the craft paper to the side. Now, when you slap it down there, it doesn't mean that it's wrong, but if you want to kind of integrate it into the pages around you, then we're going to have to do a little something to it. We're going to have to jazz it up just a little bit to make it look like it's not just glued directly onto this journal like it is. So what I'm doing here is just taking a little bit of the Stabilo all, because if you know my work at all, I do like things to have dimension to them and textures and things of that nature. So because this is my journal, it already has a little bit of texture already down, but I'm going to go in with the mustard yellow. And that mustard yellow, I'm actually bringing it in because that is the color that she is bringing into this journal. And I didn't really have any mustardy yellow color that would play well already on the page, or I could have just skipped that part. But because I am incorporating a new color, I want to bring that same color into the video. I mean, not into the video, but into the page to kind of bring it all together. And then I thought, okay, Tiff, how about let's do for this one some stencils. And what I'm going to do here, these are Tim Holtz stencils. I'm actually going to go directly over that image. Why did I choose the white? The white because it is from that other page. Because I use mix match papers, a lot of times I have 2 different color backgrounds and I want to kind of integrate them together. So to do that, I'm just using a very dry stencil brush and I'm just kind of getting that energy moved onto that image. And what that immediately does to your eye is it goes like, okay, this is part of the page on the right. I see. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then I'm going to take that same stencil and bring it over to that other side. It's all kind of bringing it together, right? And then I'm going to incorporate a little bit of dark marks and stuff because I just like doodles and scribbles and that kind of stuff. So that's what y'all get from me. Now, if you're part of my newsletter in December as part of my Christmas newsletter, I sent you guys a free printable copy of this printable here. Now, this printable isn't available for purchase at this time. There's just not enough hours in the day, you know what I mean? So I am going to take this printable because I thought that it was a really good collage piece that I could use because it already had a lot of colors that were already in it. So I thought, let's go ahead and use that. So another tip for you is to make copies of your work and then print those copies out and use them to collage in your journal, because most of the time we all have that kind of go-to palette that we really like, and that will allow you to use and meander and mingle a lot of different colors that you typically already use anyway into your work for a quick little artsy journal page. So I am going to kind of mimic those dashes that I already had on this printable, which was actually my index cards from last year. And I'm going to take and cut out the middle and just kind of play around, because this is another thing about going under or going over the image, is I want to use something to put over that image, to kind of incorporate it and bring attention to something that you may have in the image as well. So if you have a magazine image and you really want to, eyes tend to be one of my go-tos, and I want to bring attention to the eyes, then guess what? I'm going to put something around the eye to kind of bring you into it, okay? So here I'm just kind of playing around to see what I like and how I want to use this. It's not necessary. It's just a little added something that I wanted to show you as also kind of a go-to move to incorporate and kind of get all of the pages and all of the image and everything to kind of go in together. Because it can be tricky using images for magazines, because you want it to look like your work, but guess what? It's in a magazine, right? So I'm going to cut out a little oval, I guess is what I ended up with, out of that piece, and I'm just going to use it to kind of just capture this girl's face, her energy, her attitude, her pizzazz that she is bringing into this. So I'm going to go over that with a little bit of glue stick, and even though it wasn't like a perfect circle or anything, I'm still going to use it because I liked it. And why not, right? And remember, we're still using some of the colors that were on that existing white page over there to the right, and we're bringing them over to the left page. And I ended up tearing a little bit off of that delicate copy paper there. And then having to situate it in the right way, but just wanted to bring a little pop. And then I could add whatever sentiment, quote, journaling, whatever I felt the need to do, I could do that over there on the right hand side of the paper, and bada bing, bada boom, we have an instant page created. It's very bold, it's very bright. I think she has a message and an energy that really lends itself well with whatever we already had going on. Now, take it or leave it, I probably would have not done the stabilo, but because I kind of liked it a little bit before that, but that's okay. We live and we learn. It's just our journal, right? So now let's go into our third and last way to use a magazine image. So this is in my little journal that I made from Nellie Wortman's class called Treasured Memories. And I'm going to just trim off the excess here. Alright, trimmed off all the excess because guess what? It's the internet and I can edit it out because y'all don't want to see that. And so one of the things I really like to do with images is I like to tear them apart. Whether it's a vintage photo or a magazine image, I just like the way it looks whenever I split it apart. Now, one of the things that I already had in this journal was I had this piece of cheesecloth. And so this is where when it goes go under or go over, I'm going to go under the cheesecloth and then connect the two. So I guess it's a kind of over and a under all combined into one depending on what type of journals you use. If you use store-bought journals, then it could be poking a hole. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen the page that I recently did with the eye, and I actually cut through the page and had the eye on the back side of it. But just think, well, hello hair, old Curly Sue popping in there to say hey to y'all. Sometimes I forget just how close that camera is. And then I'm gonna pop it under this cheesecloth and then kind of layer the cheesecloth over the top. And that's another way to integrate the image, the magazine image that I have. And I really like how this looks, by the way. I think it was just kind of like the perfect thing. Now, what I'm doing is, again, I have two different kinds of paper. And I have black gesso on the other side, on the right-hand side. So I'm going to bring some dark stabilo marks onto the left side to kind of bring that energy up and around to the image itself. And then what I'm going to do is grab a little bit of gesso and do what we did before, just adding a little bits of the lights because I have that really white watercolor paper on the opposite side, and I'm going to use it to kind of mute the line that we have from the image and also to incorporate a brighter white. Even though you really can't see it too terribly much, it just, I don't know, it felt good to put a little bit of gesso on the other side as well and kind of mute out some of the dark that I already had and some of the stabilo as well. So I am hoping that this has given you some good ideas on how you can incorporate magazine images into your visual journals or your art journal or your collage book or whatever you want to call it. So I really want to say thank you so much, guys, for always being here, supporting me, jumping into those comments and leaving me some beautiful words. Your girl Tiff here, who always seems to be so positive, struggled my own self in last week. I had some struggles. I was feeling down on myself. I've got a lot going on, and yeah, I had some negative self-talk going on in my mind. So I just want to be an encouragement to you guys. No matter where you are, just remember that this is only temporary. So I continue to want to push my goal in 2020 to hitting 20,000 subscribers. In 2021, excuse me, to hit 20,000 subscribers before or on my birthday, which is May the 21st, guys. We've got some work to do, and I can't do it without all of you. So if you would, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Let your friends and family know to invite a little Southern gal into their life. And I hope you all have a beautiful and magical week. I am off on vacation. Hey, I can't go anywhere, but guess what? I'm here to hang with you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and until next time, toodaloo.